I gave it a bad title. That's okay though. We could change it after. I think we're live.
It says live.
Oh, cool.
Oh, hold on. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us for the very first Everything EOS live stream. If you didn't catch the news already, head over to the Everything EOS Telegram at t.me/everything_EOS. There was some new news that just broke that Tapatalk, a company with a forum system that has 200,000 different forums all across the internet and 300 million, yes, 300 million registered users across all of these forums, will be building their new reward point system on EOS. So that won't be in the podcast coming out this weekend because it's already been recorded, but we will be following up with more videos on that soon. But today we have a very special episode for the new VT Blockchain Challenge. If you're not already familiar with the VT Blockchain Challenge, we have a team here who should be able to walk us through it. So Zach, who do we have on the call today?
So we have the first team to publicly announce their part in this contest. And I'll give a little introduction to the contest in a bit. But we talked about, I think the last we talked about on the regular podcast was the Virginia Tech Boot Camp, which was held on January 26th. And it was made possible by Block.One. And what that was it was like an all day, like 6-hour workshop at Virginia Tech that all of the students were invited to. And then at that boot camp, Block.One actually announced that they're going to be doing a semester-long hackathon, essentially, for the students with $25,000 in prizes and all kinds of different mentorship and other unique opportunities that's unique to Virginia Tech. So I'm going to JW and the Blockchain Boys is their team name. They're all juniors. One of them is a senior at Virginia Tech. They're all computer science students. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
All right, hello. We're the JW and the Blockchain Boy team, and I am JW. I am a junior at Tech studying computer science.
Yeah, and I'm Zachary Geyer, junior studying computer science.
I'm Nick Hardy, senior studying computer science.
And I'm Neil Mangalkar. I'm also a junior studying computer science.
Who's going to take the lead on the questions? I guess I'll ask the first ones. So how did you guys get involved with the challenge? How did you find out about Block.One? How did you find out about EOS? What experience do you have in blockchain or cryptocurrencies? And that's a couple of questions. I'll leave you with that.
Yeah, so as you know, Dr. Kirk Cameron, which is a very respected professor at Virginia Tech, and he's the one that's most associated with the Block.One blockchain challenge. And we know that if he's so interested in that project, it must be a project that's worth our time, worth our studying, and worth everything for us to pursue. So that's why we try to learn it. And after we learned more of it, it was really exciting. Like, you got all you have. So you got companies that you can go to and ask for more resources, and you can, meet people with the same passion on blockchain, and it's just been awesome so far.
And none of us have blockchain experience, but it's really great to have that support of Block.One in Blacksburg.
I'll jump in here. I'm not used to doing anything live, so I apologize for not being quick with any of this. But I had a few video clips lined up that I was going to play, and I kind of went out of order here. I apologize to anyone watching. This is our very first time live. Peach just disappeared and came back. But I'm going to show a video from the boot camp 2 or 3 Saturdays ago. I'm going to introduce you guys to who Kirk Cameron is. He's the person in charge of the computer science program that's working with Block.One. And I'll just pull it up here.
Yeah, if you guys are joining us live today for this very first live stream, let us know in the chat box on YouTube. You'll be able to see that after the fact as well. So give us a go EOS or a hello or something like that. Let us know where you're tuning in from.
So my name, if you don't know me, is Kirk Cameron. I'm a professor of computer science here at Virginia Tech. I've been here about 15 years. In the last 6 months, I've been thrown into this job of handling the blockchain initiative. We had this great partnership that's growing here with Block.One.
I guess I cut it off there. I didn't. I thought it cut off somewhere else. Were you guys able to hear that? So I'm hoping the people on the live stream could hear it too. So that's Kirk Cameron. I could walk through some of his accolades, but you guys said on campus, just like his background, like he's one of the most well-known computer science professors. He's got pretty good accolades just from what you guys here know about him. Is he the professor? So you guys are I'm all over the place here. You guys are in a computer science course. It's your capstone project to graduate with your computer science degree. And the class is Intro to Blockchain. Is that what it is?
So it's our systems capstone course, and it's kind of been tailored to incorporate blockchain into the curriculum that it's supposed to teach.
Yeah, I mean, like usually they're having us deal with their typical operating system, right? But now they're talking about distributed systems, and blockchain is like the biggest distributed system idea that's been introduced recently, since the internet. So they thought it'd be a good idea. They're thinking about introducing a new course for it too. So it's just a big thing to do.
So for this course, everyone's competing in this contest. So there's two different, I think, pools of contestants. One is the grad school teams, and then you guys are on the undergrad team competition. But you're in a class with 25 classmates where you're just learning about blockchain in the class you just mentioned?
Oh, yep. We're all creating our own projects and implementing them on EOS.
So everyone in this classroom at Virginia Tech is all building something on a EOSIO like blockchain.
Yep.
So that is something that is just so cool because there are no other schools like that. I'd be surprised to see a school that even was building on Ethereum, to be honest. Usually it's just a lot of theoretical blockchain is what is being taught in a lot of other schools. So this is just amazing that you guys have this hands-on approach. So is this a class you have 3 days a week or 2 days a week?
It's every Tuesday, Thursday.
Okay, that's how it was back when I was in school too. So you have like 6 hours a week of class where you're able to work with your professor, and that's Kirk Cameron. And you're working 6 hours a week in class on your EOSIO project with the help of your professor. And then you're also expected to probably work on it outside of class. And then why don't you tell everyone about the unique mentorship that you're getting from Block.One and talk about your experience yesterday or whenever that was when you met with them at their office.
Yeah, of course. So every team in the Capstone course is being paired with two mentors, two engineers from the Block.One Blacksburg office, which is about like 5 minutes, 10 minutes from our campus. And what's really amazing about it is all the engineers volunteered to really help us because we have no experience with blockchain, Block.One, EOSIO, all that kind of stuff. So personally, I think it's really generous of them to donate their time to help us and all that. So yesterday, we actually had a snow day and we had school canceled. So we were kind of worried maybe we're going to reschedule our meeting with the Block.One engineer, but they were so nice. They were at the office and there, and everyone was there. It was just an amazing experience. They showed us around the office and we saw some really cool demos and such. And just overall, very friendly, very, we were a bit scared at first, but then we're like, oh my God, they're so friendly. It was
That's awesome. I think the experience that you all are getting now, especially being able to go to the Block.One office and meet with them and have them mentor you and answer questions, is an experience that I think tons of people watching right now and tons of people that will watch us later are going to be super, super jealous about to have that access to Block.One. And yeah, absolutely. I'm one as well. So that's awesome. Is this something that you guys sort of foresee continuing after this competition? Have they given you any indication of that, or are you just focused right now on getting out there and building your app?
Yeah, right now it's mostly creating our app and working with them and trying to build that relationship with them, really.
I mean, like right from the first meeting, they had a million, they read like our proposal / white paper, and they had a million ideas about, things that could work or couldn't work, how we would go about, incorporating that with their mainnet or a test net, how we would handle authentication. If they had like ideas right from the get-go, they've been thinking about it, ready to work with us from the start. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Go ahead. I just have something kind of funny to say here. Yeah. So you guys realize that Rob, myself, and thousands of people that are eventually going to watch or listen to this, we don't get that kind of attention from Block.One, even if we beg for it. So the fact that you guys could probably call them up and get any problem solved on your own little project. Block.One, they're very hands-on and helpful for putting out regular releases and things like that, but they're not working on our projects, I'll tell you that. But this is just really cool. Rob, if you want to carry this for a second, I have a couple more clips I'm going to pull up in a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you guys sort of joined the computer science program at Virginia Tech, you decided, hey, you know, I want to go to this school. What were some of the things you thought you were going to build, and has that changed now, like from a career perspective of what you thought you were going to do after school? Has that changed, or are you starting to think that might change now that you're learning how to build on distributed systems like EOS?
Yeah, because I saw, you know, most people come to college with like the idea of working a 9-to-5 job, and you know, most people still end up doing that. But the thing is, getting to work with blockchain is almost a theoretical concept, except for like the actual implementations of platforms, you know, like EOS and stuff like that. So when you get to work with things like that, you get ideas about things you might want to build yourself in the future. And I think most people go into computer science wanting to, even if you do end up working for someone else, you want to work on ideas that are extremely cool. You can't really do that with a lot of other majors, right? I mean, you're a chemical engineer, you're a mechanical engineer, you're doing cool stuff, but you're not working on groundbreaking things that are in the news and that changes everyone's life every second of the day, right? Everyone's using these distributed systems. So even if you are working a job or you go into grad school, whatever you are doing, getting to work with these sort of systems means you're able to do exactly what you wanted to do when you went into computer science, right? Which is work on groundbreaking stuff. That's amazing. And I can tell you guys firsthand, just from like trying to find blockchain developers and have people work on different projects, you know, that we all sort of have our hands in, there is a massive demand for blockchain developers. So whether you come out of college and you do your own thing, maybe it's something that, you know, started as a result of this VT blockchain challenge, or if you go to a blockchain company like Block.One or one of the other many companies that are now building on EOS, the demand there is massive. So I think that's a huge opportunity for you guys. And I love that there's kind of this funnel now coming from Virginia Tech out into the EOS ecosystem of all this good talent. So cool to see you guys involved.
So one of the big reasons we're so far behind in educating blockchain development in colleges is because who teaches the professors to teach the students? And that I think is a big hurdle we're still working to overcome. And Virginia Tech is placed in a very unique spot. I mean, you said the Block.One headquarters is in the Virginia Tech Corporate Research Center, which is about 10 minutes away. Dan Larimer, he's an alumni there. And when he was there, I think I read he tested out of like 3 computer science courses or 3 semesters worth of courses because he was already so smart going into it. And he's very dedicated to the school. I mean, I have friends who are Hokie alumni and they're absolutely obsessed with it. So I don't think it's something that ever goes away whenever you leave. And Dan never really left after graduating from there. But speaking of Dan, I had another clip I wanted to play actually of Dan introducing the contest, because I got to actually watch the entire Dan workshop that he gave at the boot camp at Virginia Tech 2 or 3 Saturdays ago. But I don't want to really play too many of his clips because I'm assuming Block.One's going to edit it and publish it on their own. So I'll leave it at that. I'm sorry, I'm a little slow again with these clips.
It's all goody.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, we have one more thing to do.
Yeah. So we're very excited about this, and we want to give you all an opportunity to come up with your own blockchain application, work on it this semester, and work with some of the people at Block.One. And we're going to be giving away $25,000 to multiple people who've come up with the best projects built on EOSIO and blockchain technology. And
nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had to cut off the round of applause. I had to do these clips kind of on short notice, but I'm going to pull up on the screen share here in a second. I'm going to pull up the actual details of the contest because we keep mentioning the contest, but I think usually when we do the show, I have time to do the graphics afterwards so that it goes a lot smoother. But I'm going to pull up.
Yeah, while you're pulling up that clip, I'll give a couple shout outs to people in the chat. Shout out to Andrew Bryan, to Plautus Roman, to Jason Fuyana. Jimmy, Kurt, good to see you. Jonathan Peterson, our admin, good to see you as well. We got a lot of people here. Looks like the clip's up.
I'll put it back up now. I wanted everyone to see your pretty face while talking.
That's all good.
All right, so this is the slide deck from the boot camp whenever they were announcing this. So, and it says right here, made possible through a generous gift from Block.One. So a lot of people wonder what Block.One's been doing because we all want the wallet, we all want Steam 2.0, we all want BitShares 3.0, but things like that take time. And people always think they're doing nothing, but they're not doing nothing. They put so much time into the global hackathon series, so much effort to make that such a success. And then this is honestly just a continuation of the global hackathon series, but it's for a student-based group, and it's a semester long with even more incredible mentorship than what we saw at the actual hackathons. So it's a semester-long challenge. Teams are asked to do 2 challenges. I think we already mentioned this stuff, the $25,000 in prizes. Teams are composed of 2 to 5 people, undergrad and graduate team. I think I covered that already. So registrations, this says February 18th, but I saw that Kirk Cameron posted something that the contest was extended. So that means anyone who catches this after the live stream from Virginia Tech who's thinking about entering this contest, please, I encourage you to register for the contest, because I'm telling you right now, Rob is the number 24 block producer in the world, the CEO of a major blockchain company. He's telling you how hard it is to find developers in blockchain, and especially who know EOSIO. Block.One is probably in the same position. They can't hire developers fast enough. So their solution to this is to basically turn Virginia Tech into a minor league system that they could recruit the graduates from to come work for them and already have a lot of experience on EOSIO. So if you're a student at Virginia Tech, you've got to get involved in this. You have no idea how unique this opportunity is. So you're still able to register. So here's the prompt of the contest, and this is what every student was challenged to do, is to build a cutting-edge blockchain application that provides value to broader Virginia Tech community of students, faculty, staff, alumni, and friends. So I guess at this point, I'll let the students here talk about their project, because you had to fit within this criteria. Why don't you tell everyone what your project is and what your approach to it has been so far?
Well, we have an official salesman.
Well, our idea was sort of, we wanted to, there are different ways you can approach utilizing the power of a blockchain, right? You can talk about anonymity, you can talk about avoiding the double spending problem, right? Or you can talk about the power of the distributed database. And we wanted to sort of take advantage of that part of the blockchain. And so our idea was to have a sort of attendance verification kind of system where your attendance to an event, or in our case, our minimum viable product would be for attendance to a class, or it could even scale to, attendance at work, right? Timesheet verification. So attendance verification in the sense that your attendance is, once verified, is now public and available on the blockchain. There's no way you're messing with it, no way you're modifying it. It is a very distributed and publicly available piece of information. And so we wanted to take that power of the blockchain and use that and really incorporate it into our application. We thought we received pretty good feedback from the Block.One people about how that would work well on their platform, especially since they recently approved, what was it, they funded Platinum.io, I believe it's called, which is a proof of location based system. So
I actually, I read about your project, because let me pull this up. You guys were actually featured in the local newspaper recently, weren't you? So that's how we actually came across you guys. We're already following what was going on with the challenge and everything, but you guys were the first team to announce yourselves. And then I got to read about your project, where it basically says what you mentioned. It mentions the attendance tracking through blockchain. And I kind of joked to Rob and Pete, who I think fell off the call. And I made a joke about you guys using proof of location for this, but I thought in my head, no, there's no chance that they know what proof of location is or any of that yet. I mean, the semester just started like 2 weeks ago. So that's awesome. So you're basically having cryptographic proof that you're in class, because you're going to have your wallet on your cell phone and your geolocation data basically prove that you were where you were supposed to be. And then that's posted to a public blockchain.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. I could see this applying to so many things. You could apply it to grading, where a teacher grades a project, and I'm just sort of thinking off the top of my head here, but then they can't go back and change the grade for a student that they don't like, or like, you know, in their favor or against them. So there are definitely a lot of applications here. I think your guys' idea is great, and I can't wait to see sort of how it develops throughout this whole process. Have you all seen any other ideas from any of the other teams in this that you heard and you went, oh wow, like that's a cool idea?
Mm-hmm. I guess one team that is using EOS to implement. We have something called like Hoki Passport Cash. That's basically our money that we put on our Hoki Passport, which is like a credit card type thing,
like dining dollars or something.
Yeah. And so they're creating a QR code system where people can securely buy stuff with their Hoki Passport.
Nice.
Wow.
That's awesome. I think it's going to be so cool. Just like with the hackathon series, only one person won each of the series, and then there was a grand finale winner. As far as that first place prize, but there was a second place prize, a third place prize. There were different smaller awards at each of these hackathons, and even teams that didn't win any awards at all are still continuing to build their projects after the fact. So I think it'll be very similar for you guys, whether you win or not. I think all of these ideas that everybody are working on are probably things that could be taken and modified in some way and turned into a real product out in the world. Maybe this is something that in the future you'll license to every university in the country or something along those lines. So this is going to be cool.
So I'm going to pull the screen share up a little bit, because I want to mention a few more things about the contest to get me to my next point I wanted to make. I think it popped up. Are you guys able to see it?
Yep.
All right. So the contest is actually 2 phases. So the first phase is the idea phase, and that's the phase you're currently in right now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much starting off prototyping.
Okay, so phase 1 submission. So it's mostly just the text of your MVP. It's like, what do you want to do? What problem are you trying to solve? And how are you trying to do it? But then I think there's prizes for this one too. So here's the judging criteria. It looks very similar to what the actual hackathons were. Rob, you want to read them off the screen so I could look at something else real quick?
Yeah, definitely. So the phase 1 judging criteria, the criteria that the judges are going to look at for these projects when they're evaluating them, similar to the hackathon, but the 5 things that they're actually looking at are a little bit different. So number 1, use of the EOSIO technology. Are you using the blockchain in some kind of a way that you couldn't do this with a centralized database or a centralized system? Impact on the Virginia Tech community makes sense. It sort of drives along with that, the goal of doing something that benefits the teachers and the faculties and the staff and everybody that's at the university. Functionality roadmap, maybe that's one that you guys can explain for us. Did they give you some indication of what they were looking for in that specific criteria?
Yeah, that was just more of our plan of how to approach the problem and how we were going to achieve like a minimum viable product.
Yeah, because we're on the right, we don't really have real industry experience. We're not really familiar with how people with the real job track of their projects. So that's where we're learning, and it's an amazing opportunity for us to, get a taste of that.
Very cool. And then the 4th point, of course, very similar to the actual EOS hackathons, which is creativity. How creative is your idea? Is this an idea, again, that should be on a blockchain and is creative enough to utilize that technology in the right way? And then if you want to scroll up, Zach, we can see the 5th one as well. And then design and usability. So, we talk about this a lot, especially on the Everything EOS podcast, which is, you can build the most decentralized social media network or the new decentralized Uber, but if the user experience sucks, if it's hard to use, if there's friction, nobody's going to ultimately use your product just because it's decentralized. So having a product that has good user experience and good UI that feels kind of like a centralized app, but still gives you the benefits of a decentralized app is something that they're looking for as well. So very cool to see these 5 criteria.
I just realized you could see all my tabs that are open too on the screen.
That's all good.
All right. So there's prizes for this one. So this is just for an idea. So like whenever I was saying students, if you're at Virginia Tech and you haven't signed up for the contest yet, the first part of the contest is just coming up with a good idea and working with Block.One engineers to iterate over it. And the prizes, you can see them on screen. There's $1,000 for the undergrad only team, $1,000 for the grad school team. And then there's additional prizes for logos and t-shirt designs. Anyone watching from Virginia Tech or Block.One, holler at your boy for a free t-shirt. I would love a VT blockchain t-shirt. I'm trying to give you guys as much attention as I can. What we do here at Everything EOS, and what we do really well, is we tell stories. I talk to Rob about this all the time. Actually, let me get everyone on the screen share. So a lot of what we do is we tell stories. So we've been telling the story of EOSIO for almost a year now. This weekend's our 50th podcast together, of basically telling the story of the creation and birth and growth and hopefully mass adoption eventually of EOSIO. And we tell it through the perspective of ourselves. We have a block producer here. I'm building my own EOSIO project that's going to be on the mainnet in a couple of months. So we're watching it from our perspective. We're very involved in the community, and we're telling it through our eyes, and people seem to have enjoyed it. And we're also able to point spotlights on projects that might not have the money to do a bunch of marketing, but we could put the spotlight on them. We started an EOS developer series with Peter K. He fell off the call earlier, but you've seen him on a couple different episodes. We want to improve the developer ecosystem. We want to improve the knowledge base of the entire community through being able to point spotlights on areas that other people aren't looking. And right now, I see this partnership with Virginia Tech as one of the most hidden secrets hiding in plain sight in the EOSIO ecosystem, because of the talent that's going to come out of this, and the ideas and the companies and the projects. And I want to tell you guys a story. So JW and the blockchain boys, this is like your introduction to the world. You're getting great mentorship from Block.One themselves. They're giving you one perspective. We're coming from the community side, the block producer side, and we're going to need developers at my company with Pete soon too. So we want to offer you something that Block.One's not able to offer. And I'll let Rob kick it off, and then I'll chime in with what I could offer, because we have a lot of things of value that we could offer to you. And it's not just for you guys, but it's for any of the undergrad or grad school teams participating in this semester's Hackathon Challenge. It's really easy to find us. You can find us on Twitter, at EOS, Everything EOSIO. You can find our Telegram links. If you're watching this, you're actually on our YouTube channel, so all the links are in the description. But reach out to us, because I'll let Rob kick it off.
Yeah, I think the main thing, if you look back at all of the EOS Hackathon series that we've had in London and in Hong Kong and San Francisco and so many others, one of the core parts of these hackathons that's made them so successful, in our opinion, is the mentors. You had all these mentors that were there to answer questions, to get you through, coding problems or whatever the case may be. There was a mentor who kind of had your back. And in addition to you all having these mentors at Block.One that you can go to, once a week for a meeting, and then kind of bust through these hard technical problems or help you come up with a new idea. In addition to all that, we kind of want to sort of make Everything EOS yours as well, and make one big mentor group for you all. So we'll distribute a Telegram link to you and the rest of the participants, where you can come in and join and talk with myself and Zach and Pete and so many other block producers and other people from the EOS ecosystem who just want to help people like you that are building on EOS. So that, I think, is our biggest resource, is just offering you what we know about EOS, what we know about the community, as kind of a community mentor for this project. So we're super excited about this, and hope we can help in any way possible.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, just you guys being on here, if you guys need anything, you could ask us and we will get it for you. If we can't answer your questions ourselves, we'll find the person who can, because we know pretty much everybody in the entire global ecosystem. So we're going to open that up to you guys. And I'm sure Block.One's offering you some really unique tools and opportunities as well. But we want to give you the total package. And one of the biggest things we could offer is this spotlight. So one of the biggest hurdles facing user adoption in blockchain is just developer adoption as well. We often talk about removing friction to get users to use our apps that we're building, but there's also a big struggle on getting the developers as well. And we want you guys to be able to use our platform to share your needs. And then I don't want this to be the last time we do a live stream here. So this is just a a test ride for Rob and I. We want to give the community new content because people always want more content, but the content we usually put out is highly edited and like post-production, do good graphics. This episode's raw here. This is just us having a call with you guys. And it's no different than if we had this call privately, but we're sharing it with everyone. And I don't want this to be the last time we talk to you guys on the show. So right now, you guys are at ground zero. You guys just are learning about EOSIO from scratch as juniors and a senior in computer science. So right now, you're no different than a lot of other juniors and seniors across the world at other universities. So I want to follow you guys' progress throughout this entire contest. So midway through the contest, I want to do another call. Maybe we can get another team or two on here because we'll have some time to get this message out there. But I want to hear how much more you guys know about EOSIO in a month or two. I want you guys to tell us about block producers, what their job is, how you reach consensus, different governance models. Hopefully you're going to learn about all of this different stuff throughout the next couple of months. And it's something unique. My hair keeps disappearing. It's something so unique that you guys have. And then at the very end of your contest, I would love, so we're able to give you this exposure here. We want to share your story. We want to show the world what's possible in one semester at a university with a complete full all-in buy-in of blockchain and in particular EOSIO. So I think we're going to see incredible progress here from zero to hero by the end of this semester. And Rob and I, we have connections that we could help you personally with your pitch decks and going through that. We know Block.One will help you also, but we will gladly listen to your pitch decks. We'll have other people, if you're in a specific industry, if I saw someone tweet something about green energy, like if you're in a specific industry, like we said, we have contacts everywhere. And we will have your idea pitched in front of people in that industry, and then they'll be able to give you feedback as well. We want you guys to be rock stars because you guys are what, and all of the graduating classes after you are what is going to bring critical mass adoption of blockchain in general, EOSIO aside. You guys are going to leave here with experience of building on a decentralized system. And then if you go and work for some other company, whether it's a bank, I don't know, it could be anything, you have that knowledge to bring with you. And you could say, hey guys, there's a better way to do this. Why don't we look into doing it with this technology instead? And I'm really looking forward to it. I guess I'll stop rambling on that one. I was on a tangent.
No, that was great. I think ultimately we're just super, you go ahead guys, you got something to say?
No, we're just, yeah.
Like, that's incredible. It's really generous of you guys, and we really didn't expect this. So thank you guys so much.
Absolutely. We're ultimately just super, super excited. So like Zach said, we'll have to have you on in the future, but I think that about wraps it up. Do we have anything else to cover, Zach?
No, I left so much stuff out I wanted to talk about, but I like what we talked about here. I could always do another more cohesive prepared video. My hair is disappearing again another time, but I think this is a good point to cut it off. We have been on here a while. How do we want to end this, Rob? I'm not used to doing it live.
I guess we'll end it the same way. Thank you guys so much for being here, JW and the Blockchain Boys. I guess we'll close it off. I'm Rob Finch.
Well, let everyone know how to find them actually, real quick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
How could they find you guys on Twitter?
Yes, our Twitter handle is, oh God. It's not, oh God, it's JW and the Blockchain Boys. If you just Google that, you should be able to find us. If not, I'm pretty sure Everything EOS has our tweet.
If you look at the Everything EOS Twitter, we retweeted you guys. You could find them there. And the official hashtag for this blockchain challenge is hashtag VT blockchain. So if you're in the EOS community and you watch this live stream or you catch it after the fact, throw out a tweet and give a shout out to all the teams at Virginia Tech. Wish them good luck. It doesn't have to be a wordy paragraph. Just say good luck, VT blockchain. Let everyone know that you support them because the whole world's watching you guys. We're cheering you on. Rob already signed off. I'm Zach Gall. Why don't you guys sign off and we'll get off here.
Yeah.
All right. We'll just cut it off. Goodbye, everybody.
Awesome.
Have a good
Thanks,
night.
everybody.